All right, Doug Fisher, we're here live at the sunny Santa Monica track. Actually, you know what? I just see the background. There's a few clouds.
Yeah.
A few clouds
nice
coming in the background.
It's
supposed to rain tomorrow.
The air
but
quality is beautiful. It's crisp, clean air. When the sun's out, it's beautiful.
You'd have to say this is a great.
It's nice in the shade too.
Great weather conditions for the LA Marathon today,
yes. Right? Yeah. Oh, you know what? You're right. This is really
perfect.
good. Runners
Not too warm. It's clean air. Kevin Costner is over here
He's in shape.
Stretching. He's still in great shape.
Awesome shape.
We don't bother him. No. We let him do his thing. That's although it's an empty track today because of the marathon.
There were some triathletes, Tom.
That's right. There were a couple triathletes. Yeah.
Model-looking triathletes training here.
Yeah. Earlier there was a triple jumper here. That's one of Dave's.
And Dr. Allen.
Dr. Allen was here for sure.
Yeah. Wearing socks for shoes. So it's all good.
So where should we start? Should we start with last night's fight? Big upset.
Adam Kownacki.
Maybe one of the upsets of the year was Kownacki.
That's a front runner.
Lost to Robert Helenius.
Helenius. Did I say it right? Helenius?
Yeah, Helenius, yeah.
The Nordic Nightmare.
That's right.
Who was a hot prospect like 10 years ago, right?
I think he was supposed to fight Vladimir at one point.
He looked like the goods because he feasted during his developmental period. He feasted on faded former world title holders, including my man Layman Brewster.
Right, including Brewster.
We got a stoppage, and Brewster's got an anvil for a chin, as Vladimir Klitschko could tell you. And Sam Peter.
That's right.
And maybe one or two others. And so he had a really good look. I mean, he was systematically breaking guys down.
Yeah, knocking guys out. Yeah, you're right.
6'6" and a half. Good weight, good jab, good speed. And we saw the jab and the timing.
Yeah.
We saw that last night.
And the experience.
Although Kownacki was putting hands on him, and it looked like Kownacki was on his way to scoring like a 5th or 6th round knockout. But did he kind of run into did the Nordic Nightmare run Kownacki into a right hand?
Yeah, he shook Kownacki, and then that changed the rhythm of the fight.
Kownacki went down, and it was ruled a slip, and Helenius recognized that Kownacki is hurt and pressed his advantage. Did the right? I mean, you know what? He's 35 years old, which isn't too old for a heavyweight. But you could tell he's a veteran. He's a very mature boxer, and he told everyone that he had for a lot of his previous losses, he wasn't training the right way. He wasn't 100% focused. Didn't have good camps. But he said for this fight, he had a really good camp.
Yeah. He kind of lost his focus. I think he took some. I think that's what it was. He was injured.
Yeah.
Took some time off, and then he never really quite looked the same. But then
didn't get his mojo back.
Yeah, but
and didn't he fight Dillian White? And it was a stinker. He and Dillian White had a fight.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Really just bad.
And he was a huge underdog last night.
He was a big underdog, yeah.
Huge.
I wonder what JP thought about that fight, because he was, I think Kownacki, I looked at it, was 30-1 favorite, which is a huge.
Wow.
Yeah, 30-1. Yeah, as a main event.
30-1.
A lot of people criticize that, but you see that.
Big upset too last night.
There was?
Yeah.
In boxing?
I was reading on actually JP's Twitter.
Oh, there was some UK fights too.
Yeah,
maybe it was on one of the I think Eddie Hearn had a show.
John O'Carroll was he
Scott Quigg lost. Scott Quigg lost.
Quigg had nothing. Yeah. That was hard to watch.
Yeah. Quigg's a very likable guy. He comes to a lot of our Hollywood shows, and he's with Freddie.
Yeah.
And very likable, and a very big supporter of Marco Deckman.
Yeah.
And I think he actually trains Deckman at some points. But Scott's a great guy.
On your next show?
Marco Deckman is on the next show. We haven't officially announced the next show yet, but we'll announce it right now. Sunday, March 29th at the Hollywood Avalon. Return of the Hollywood Fight Nights.
I know it's co-headlined by two undefeated prospects.
That's right.
Brian Ceballo and Adrian Montoya.
You're right.
Those guys have crazy talent.
Montoya
was a big surprise to me.
Ceballo had a big year last year. He had 5 fights. Yeah. Fought on 2 of the Triple G undercards at Madison Square Garden. He proved. Brian Ceballo proved, sometimes you put guys in the big spotlights in a big arena. It's everyone's dream to fight at the Garden, and they get nervous or they don't have a great performance. And Ceballo had 2 impressive wins.
Ubov?
I don't know, but Ubov, undefeated, big puncher from Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
and wound up winning pretty much every round against
played
him.
The perfect matador against the bull.
Showed his boxing skills.
Yeah,
that was really
did.
a come out fight for him.
Yeah, he looked better in before a packed house in the big arena at Madison Square Garden than he did at the Avalon.
Some of the smaller shows.
Yeah, these little small club shows.
Yes. So we're excited about having Brian on the show, headlining back on the West Coast, and like you said, Adrian Montoya. You saw him, right, Coach, at the last fight? Adrian Montoya.
He's really good.
And he's 12-0. He's from Sonora, Mexico.
Yeah, I was expecting the quintessential hard pressing Mexican prospect. A pressure fighter, body puncher, and I saw a guy with great footwork, a lot of poise and patience, and hand speed. I was really impressed with the speed, but what I like about him is he's willing to fight difficult fighters, because he fought Philly Rubalcaba.
Undefeated Philly Rubalcaba.
Yeah, who's a prospect in his own right.
To get on the show, right?
Yeah, and he's in tough on March 29 as well, right?
He's fighting a 12-1 fighter from San Diego. So 12-0 versus 12-1. That's a great great co-feature, and we're going to announce. Coach, are you excited? It's going to be on the UFC Fight Pass.
I am so excited.
Hadley Fight Nights is graduated platforms now.
Hey, but I tell you what, everyone should look at this week. I hadn't been watching it for a while, but B-Hop's 5th fight that's on TV. I watched it again the other night.
It's been a while since you mentioned that.
The 5th fight?
5th fight.
Oh, no. I mean,
it's a fight that he literally took on a day's notice.
No, but that's the best.
Hours notice.
No, but to watch him in his 5th fight, I mean, that's
see the foundation.
That's a clinic. I mean, the way every single bit about him, and he, his footwork, his defense. He didn't get hit once. The way he just blocks everything.
Yeah.
It was incredible. You got to watch it. I mean, I can't believe at his 5th fight anyone could look that good.
Hey, he had a very good trainer.
He did. But you know what happened?
And the trainer, God rest his soul, Bowie Fischer, he would admit that he had a very good student.
He did.
It takes both sides of that street.
And he also, so Bowie Fischer was retired.
Yeah.
And B-Hop had lost his first fight.
Yeah.
And then B-Hop was in this gym in Philadelphia, and he was watching Fischer, and so he talked Fischer out of retirement, sort of. And Fischer's deal was, I'll work with you, but you can't have a fight for 1 year.
Yes.
So he trained him
working
for
on
1 year.
all fundamentals, yeah.
Isn't that incredible?
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about that.
That's a great story.
Because he had to rebuild the foundation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bowie Fischer was really one of those old school coaches.
Yeah. And Bowie had an auto shop, a garage, and Bernard worked in the garage.
Oh, okay.
And lived in his house.
Oh. Yeah.
But that fight is just that. I mean, it is a clinic of all clinics.
Yeah.
For every part of boxing.
Yeah. Yeah. Bernard was a complete technician.
And it's just lucky that was on. It was like a swing bout on ESPN.
Yeah.
And the other guy was, they thought he'd win for sure. Oh my God.
But so that was actually Bernard was the underdog in that fight?
Well, he took a fight on like
short notice.
Called him at home
as the replacement opponent. Oh,
hey,
so maybe the original opponent fell
you're
out.
In Philly, can you drive down to Atlantic City?
Yeah,
Sure.
Because everyone else fell out.
Right.
And they named the guy from Canada. A couple of these guys became known fighters.
Like Pascal.
Yeah, Otis Grant. Wow.
How about that?
There you go.
Otis Grant, that's very good.
He was good.
He was real good.
Yeah, he was a good fighter.
Anyway, you got to just do yourself a favor and watch that fight. It's on YouTube. Bernard Hopkins' 5th pro fight. And get back to me, please. I want to know.
There's a comment.
Are people talking about Chocolatito? I mean, I'm still buzzing.
We haven't.
I'm still on a high.
We haven't hit the Chocolatito topic yet, but someone commented that B-Hop destroyed William Joppy. I think William Joppy could be in one of those categories of an overrated champion. He was good, solid guy,
he only lost a really good fight.
but not on that B-Hop level,
Felix Trinidad level.
Yeah, or Trinidad.
Yep.
Yeah,
that was incredible.
What an environment.
Yeah, the fight started after midnight.
Yeah.
That was
the
at
crowd didn't care. It was like a Puerto Rican Day parade crammed inside of Madison Square Garden.
That was at the Garden. I was just going to say it was at the Garden. Yeah. That was one of those.
The noise they made for Tito when he came out, deafening.
Wasn't that one of
and
those?
People, press row, the Puerto Rican riders in press row, they stood up and went crazy.
They were cheering
the tables
too.
over with all the leather. Oh, Tito!
He was a hero in Puerto Rico.
I turned around and behind me was two old timers. It was Bert Sugar and who's the guy who wrote The Harder They Fall?
Oh yeah.
He was older than Bert, a lot older than Bert. Yeah, he'd been around forever.
So Michael Katz would have been at that fight with his neck brace, right?
Yeah.
In the garden.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And Steve Kim and I were the new guard. We were the young guys.
All right. That was back in your early days.
Yeah. Almost 20 years ago. 19 years ago almost.
Yeah, Trinidad was a legend at the
but
garden.
anyways, it was sensational. I can't believe I'm spacing out on. He's a famous writer, and he was a screenwriter as well. It'll pop up. It'll pop in my head. But I looked at them because I know they've been to a lot of fights, right? They'd covered some big events. They didn't say a word. Their eyes were big, and they looked at me and they just nodded like, "Yeah, man, this is something else. This is special." Yeah. You kids at home, Google The Harder They Fall. It's a movie. It's a boxing movie. If you haven't seen it, you should see it. It's great. That was Humphrey Bogart's last film.
Is that 1957?
I think so. And Jersey Joe Walcott. I think he played himself.
Is it Bud Schulberg?
Yeah, Bud Schulberg. There you go.
I got a hint. I got a hint from Fat Sinatra.
Hey,
he said,
Fat Sinatra, way to go.
He said Bud something, and then I
Bud
remember
Schulberg.
Bud
How do you
Schulberg.
spell Bud?
B-U-D-D.
You got it. That's it. 2 D's.
That was another hint from Fat
You know who his
Sinatra.
favorite fighter was?
Schulberg?
Art Aragon.
Fidel LaBarba.
Oh yeah, Fidel LaBarba.
Barber. So yes.
LA guy.
So
downtown.
Did he really?
Barbers. Yeah.
so getting back, Chocolatito had a great win over Cal Yafai.
And now people recognize that he's the king.
The
now everyone's saying
the
he's
return of the king, right?
That's right, man.
He's the one that opened up that whole Superfly division. Actually, flyweight when we had him.
He was the inspiration to do Superfly,
That's right. Yeah, he was the impetus because we had the greatest pairing. I think the greatest pairing at that time was Triple G and Chocolatito on the same show together, same shows.
Little drama show.
Yeah, I think they fought 4 times on the same show together when they were considered the 2 best pound for pound fighters. And Triple G had a great fan base following, sold a lot of tickets, and so did Chocolatito. Had a lot of fans in the arena. So it was a great atmosphere.
Superfly won, so it had the rematch between a rematch of a Fight of the Year candidate, Chocolatito versus Srisaket Sarungbasai. That's main event.
That's right.
Co-feature, awesome. That was Juan Francisco Estrada versus Carlos Cuadras.
Yep, that was a great
That's
Mexican
one of the
war.
best Mexico versus Mexico. Oh my goodness, and close fight too.
And people knew to get on our Superfly shows, they needed to be in tough fights.
And who debuted? Who made his U.S. debut?
And
HBO debut?
the monster. They named the energy drink after him.
Did they?
Inouye, yeah.
Inouye.
Yep.
I got to get me some of that.
Gotta get you some Monster Energy drink. Yeah, and Inouye's gonna fight. He's got a big fight coming up now against Casemiro.
April 25.
On a
Mandalay Bay, where the Flying Fishes play.
On a top rank ESPN show, right?
Yes.
ESPN Plus type of show. That's gonna be a great fight for Inouye. That's at 118, right?
Yes.
Did he sign with Top Rank?
Yeah, he did.
Inouye did sign with Top Rank. Yeah.
Ring Magazine Bantamweight champion, also holder of the IBF and WBA titles. Casemiro, who's a three division title holder, holds the WBO Bantamweight title.
Okay.
So Inouye keeps fighting champions in his division.
So that's a good fight coming up. We got what else? Mikey Garcia had a good win at
against Jesse Vargas.
Welterweight.
He's staying at welterweight. That's where the money is. Yep. I don't think he's. I don't think he's most effective as a welterweight. I'd rather see him back at 135 or at 140. That's a good compromise. There's good fights for him, but the money is at welterweight.
You know how much he made for his last
Remember Robert Guerrero, how good he looked as a lightweight? And the potential he had, but he wouldn't have made a quarter of the money he made at welterweight.
Moving up at welterweight, right? He fought a lot of big names at welterweight.
Yeah, it was a risk.
Yeah,
it was tough on his body, but financially speaking, it worked out for him.
We announced Cecilia Braekhus' next fight coming up April 17th.
That's a good fight.
So
That's
here,
the lady from Chicago?
from
McCaskill?
Chicago, Jessica McCaskill.
That's a good fight.
She's a unified champion at 140 pounds.
Okay.
And they're going to fight at a catchweight. Cecilia naturally is the undisputed champion at 147, so they're going to fight at.
Cecilia's going to come down to like 145.
145. That's right.
Really?
So they're going to fight at a catchweight. That's a great show. That's going to be at the MGM National Harbor on the Regis Prograis Maurice Hooker show.
Wow.
So that's going to be a great show on the Zone.
Sure will.
Yeah.
I love Prograis.
Yeah.
Regis is a great guy, and that should be a great style matchup against Hooker. That'll be a pretty action fight.
Yeah.
During his
At
camp,
trains at Churchill Boxing here in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be a good show.
Maybe our good
Don't
friend
miss
Bernie
that.
can hook us up like the. You watching Bernie? Get Coach and I into that camp.
Bernie retweeted, so I think he's watching.
Yeah,
so.
we just wanna observe him and
So
talk to him afterwards.
That'll be a great show on April 17th on the Zone. And the thing there, Doug, you're a historian. If Cecilia beats Jessica McCaskill, a fellow world champion, she'll have broken Joe Louis's historic record.
More than 25 title defenses.
This will be her 26th title defense if she's successful.
Yeah.
So
that's
a huge.
Some people. They'll be like, no, she does not break the record. That's Joe Louis's record. She breaks the female record. They want to keep it separate.
Well, it was International Women's Day yesterday.
Yeah.
And we had I watched the UFC fights yesterday, and there was a tremendous co-feature. The women stole the show.
That female fight was awesome.
Yeah,
it was off the chain.
Women stole the show.
And I just saw pictures of this lady afterwards. Her head was swollen grotesquely.
Joanna from Poland. Yeah, one of Polish Peter's favorite Polish athletes. Yeah, but it was a tremendous show. The girl from China won, and she had a rough training camp because she had a hard time getting in to the U.S. I heard she had to move like 4 different times for the training camp, but she's tremendous fighter. She retained her title, in an all-out war, and they stole the show on International Women's Day. Shout out to Dana White, the co-feature.
And then I heard the main event
stole the show.
Right? The main event was boring.
There were complaints that it wasn't the most exciting fight. Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
They should have reversed the order.
And there was a Cuban fighter in there. So
yeah. Well, there you go.
Shout out to Rigondeaux.
Yeah.
Your man.
Shout out to the
your man Rigo.
So where's Tom Brady going to play next year?
That's a good question. That's one of the $1 million questions.
Dana White's trying to get him.
Oh, really?
For Las Vegas.
Oh, for the Raiders, yeah. That's right. Dana's a big Patriots guy.
Yeah, he's a Boston dude.
Yeah,
he's trying to get it for Las Vegas.
Sure, yeah, that's right. Up there, every time I fly into Vegas, you see that arena getting closer to completion. Also here in LA,
Inglewood.
That's Coach's neighbor, Stan Kroenke, lives right across the street.
Speaking of Inglewood, the night before the return of Hollywood Fight Nights.
Yeah, that's
Virgil
right.
Ortiz
There's a fight at the
Jr.
Forum.
Headlines at the Forum.
That's right, a Golden Boy show at the Forum.
Sammy Vargas.
So that's a good boxing weekend in LA. We kind of timed it that way where Virgil Ortiz is fighting at the Forum on the Zone, and then we have the Hollywood Fight Nights on the UFC Fight Pass. That's it. We're doing that show together with Roy Jones Jr. Promotions, so Roy Jones might be there. We also have...
Wow.
Yeah, so if Roy shows
that's
up,
a big deal.
That'll be a big deal.
Superman Roy?
Yep.
Wow.
And George Navarro is on that show. Marco Deckman, like we said, he's on the show. Adrian Corona is on the show. He's a fan favorite. Also, one of Coach's favorite fighters, Vic Darchinyan, is going to be there. His nephew.
I liked what I saw from his
Armand Darchinyan is going to be on the show. He made his pro debut in the last show, so he sells a lot of tickets.
Victor looks like he could still fight.
Vic is in great.
He doesn't have
great shape.
one mark on his face. He's really sharp.
Yeah, right.
He's a great guy.
I had a lunch meeting with him, and I almost got the impression that if it was the right deal that came along, he might consider.
Yeah, I think so.
He's no spring chicken either, man.
What's he, 44, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
He's good.
But he was a badass when he was like 37.
Oh,
it's like, what? That dude.
Yeah, so
the Raging Bull, yeah.
You would think he'd be all beat up and sort of sloppy talking, but wow, this guy's together. I know he has every penny he ever made, too.
So that'll be a good LA weekend boxing show. And today is a great day for sports in LA. We got the LA Marathon, and we got the Lakers versus the Clippers today. So it's a huge day in LA, right, Coach, for sports?
Every day is a big day. It's
You got
all
some
good.
questions for me, Coach?
Oh yeah, no, we
I
can
have,
go.
yeah, I do
Yeah,
have.
we can't
some yeah. Okay, I have some questions.
Lollygagging for 30 minutes. or
Okay. Okay. So, on March 7th, 1987, there was a fight for the unified heavyweight title, WBA, WBC.
1987?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So WBC was Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
WBA was James Bone Crusher Smith.
Right.
Yeah. That was part of a tournament, a unification tournament that HBO put on.
And who was the referee? And where was it? Where was the fight?
I don't know. Who was the referee for that? I just remember the fight was boring.
Yeah.
And then everyone, James Smith's nickname was Bone Crusher.
Yeah.
And after that fight, everyone started calling him Bone Hugger. I think Emil Griffith was the trainer for Bone Crusher.
Oh, was it?
I think so. He was in his, and he was not happy. He was upset. Bone Crusher, come on.
Upset by the
Mills
performance.
Lane was the ref.
Mills Lane. Yeah, he
there
was,
you go.
wasn't he sort of the premier Nevada referee?
was. He was
yeah,
really good.
He was,
Yeah, he
was
used to
really
get all the big fights.
yeah.
And
but he was
Mitch
great.
Halpern also
Mitch,
was a great.
Mitch
yeah.
was the young
Yep,
up-and-comer.
young guy.
Yeah, Mitch
yeah.
kind of
the
emerged
protege.
in the 90s.
Yeah, that's right. He did
Who
a
was Mitch
Rest in peace.
Halpern's roommate in Vegas?
Oh, was that Colin Cowherd?
Colin
Who I
Cowherd.
saw live in the flesh
That's right,
during
yeah.
Fury Wilder
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
He's a tall dude.
Yeah,
I had
he's
no
a-
idea.
yeah.
The guy's like 6'4".
What was Mills Lane's moniker?
Let's get it on.
There you go.
That's how I said it.
That's what we just
And
got.
what-
And when you shake his hand, he squeezes it real. Yeah, how you doing, Mills Lane?
Yeah.
All right, you're
You would
manly.
never think that guy would have a stroke. I mean, he was in great shape.
Yeah, no, he's good condition. Yeah,
Really. And he was good.
he boxed as an amateur.
He was a great. And okay, so on March 5th, 1994, at the reopening of the Grand Olympic Auditorium,
In what year?
1994.
Oh, 1994. Okay.
Yeah. Who won their first world title?
That was Oscar De La Hoya. Yeah, that was against Jimmy Bredel.
Right.
Jimmy Breedall
Bredal, is that how you say it?
from
He's Denmark.
Denmark. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember him.
Breedall.
That was WBO title, right?
Yes, and
Yes,
I remember that, yeah.
WBO. 130 pounds.
Yeah, I remember Oscar
Where
fought
is
at
he?
130.
They looked
And
emaciated.
then didn't he move up after that? He won that title, and then he moved up.
No, I think he defended
35.
it once.
He did.
and
Okay,
then
one
he
time.
moved
Yeah,
up,
it wasn't a long run at
Where
130.
was he from?
because that
Where's
was an
he-
unnatural way.
Where's he from?
Denmark.
Bredal, Denmark.
Okay. Okay, so now I want to
And he had a brother who was a champion at bantamweight, I think.
Okay, so
Johnny.
That sounds right.
now I
yeah.
got a very tough question. Who did Breedall win the championship from?
Reggie Tour?
Pardon me?
Regilio Tour?
Reginald Tour? T-U-U-R?
Oh, that was Reggie was the guy. Remember, I was talking about why Kevin Kelly wound up on shows over in Holland
Yeah.
because of Reggie Tour.
Reggie Tour.
Now I remember the name.
He's from Holland.
Reggie Tour
he won.
because Reggie would fight over there, and Kevin would be, and that's where Arturo Gatti was on the same show also.
Yeah.
Made his. That's why I met Pat Lynch.
Yeah.
He made Arturo, I think, fought twice there on the
Yeah.
same shows with Kevin and
was
Reggie.
popular out there. But Reggie trained
Yeah.
in New York City.
That's right. Trained in New York and fought in Holland, and we'd sell out arenas over
Yeah,
there.
right?
Okay, so the
Yeah.
guy he won the title from was from Australia.
Oh,
Yeah. Probably never heard of him.
yeah. I don't know. What's his name?
Renato Cornet.
Cornet.
Yeah,
no.
that name sounds familiar.
I didn't hear that. But imagine that. Imagine Kevin Kelly and Arturo Gatti being on your undercard. The talent on those shows.
Yeah, right?
Yep.
Okay, who did Breedall fight? His very last fight, he got knocked out.
What weight class was it?
That was a super featherweight title.
Oh, so-
IBO, super featherweight.
IBO.
Yeah.
Where was the fight?
Oh wait, Breedall's very. Yeah, that was. I don't know where the fight was.
Coach is on a
The guy.
Johnny Breedall.
Okay, but the guy who beat him is from Texas,
Uh-huh.
and he was a MMA fighter, kickboxer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Troy Dorsey.
Right.
Troy Dorsey was in one of the wars with Kevin Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a
And
great
Jorge
fight.
Paez. He
For
had-
for you guys at home, kids at home on the
yeah.
YouTube, check out Kevin Kelly versus Troy Dorsey. That's
threw
probably
down.
going to be one of the most exciting fights you've
Threw down.
seen.
They're friends today.
I think they broke a record for
Combo
number of
fights.
punches
Yeah,
thrown
they did.
in a 12-round fight at that time.
At some point during that fight, Kevin let out a scream. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Like in pain or in exultation?
No, just like this energy. Like it was
energy,
a primal scream. Like he's punching. He's like, you know, they're on the inside, and I think Troy's got him up against the ropes, and he's fighting off the rope. He's like around the bell rings. He's like, ah! What?
Yeah.
Was that on USA?
I don't remember.
Fights?
No,
Or was
that could have been MSG Networks if you remember back then, because I was at the Garden at the theater, and but it could have been USA also.
Yeah.
It was one of those channels back then.
So that stuff that was on like a regional network like that, I would see it like later, like days or weeks later,
delay.
like on the Prime Network or something
gotcha.
like that, middle of the night.
Right back then they had those
same
deals.
thing with
right.
the shows
the
here.
KCAL
in the Forum.
shows, right?
Those KCAL shows. I would see them in Missouri on the Prime Network.
Got it.
And did Prime become like Fox? Did Fox take over?
I think they
Prime?
all kind of integrated into a larger platform.
Yeah.
Okay, so who was Troy Dorsey's last fight against?
Oh.
He got KO'd.
At 130 pounds still?
You know, I don't
wasn't
know
Oscar
what
De
rate
La
it
Hoya,
was,
was it?
but this guy had a brother.
Oh.
He had,
Was it Ruelas?
Yep, you got it.
That would be Gabe, right?
That Gabriel Ellis.
Yeah.
Wow.
See, every now and then I can get one of these
That's good.
questions.
Very
I didn't
good.
know that.
And what was Gabriel Ellis's fight that he had just before Troy Dorsey?
Now you're going
You know
timelines.
this fight. No, you know this fight for sure.
Give me a hint.
It was on HBO.
Okay.
Gabriel Ellis fought a real, popular guy, a real good guy.
Arturo Gotti.
You got it.
And he was winning, and then he got knocked out.
Yeah,
We were just talking about it.
The hook. You know, he kept throwing the uppercuts. He was catching Gotti with the uppercut, but the counter for an uppercut is a hook. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're throwing a right uppercut,
You throw the
you're
hook over the
exposed.
top,
Right,
yeah.
that right side of your chin is exposed.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
Gotti had a great hook.
And he was way ahead in that fight.
I thought he was putting it on Gotti.
He was.
That was on the undercard of Lennox Lewis, Andrew Galata.
You just got a compliment.
And
It's,
I won.
it's hard to
I
see in the
went
sunshine
to
here,
a
but I can see
pay-per-view
the
party, and
see
we all
the
took,
comments.
We took bets, and everybody had Galata. Everyone
Yeah.
thought that Lewis was shit. And I said Lewis smashes him within 3 rounds, and he took him out in the first round.
Which fight was that?
Lennox Lewis versus Andrew Galata.
Oh, Galata,
That
yeah.
was the main
Yeah.
event.
And
yeah.
who else?
And it was promoted by Main Events.
Right.
And who else was on that card?
I think Jesus Chavez was on it.
Which fight? Okay.
Okay.
Jesus Chavez was from Texas also.
Give me a hint. I watched it. I remember watching the pay-per-view. I watched it at Gary Randall's place, who's the
one guy
webmaster
is
of,
the guy
House of Boxing.
A couple famous guys were on that
And
card.
Max Boxing.
On that card. Roy Tarver. I mean,
Antonio Tarver?
Tarver.
Tarver?
Tarver was on that card, and there you go. Fernando Vargas.
Fernando Vargas.
Yeah, it was a main event show, so that was an early.
Fernando has 3 sons that are all boxing now in the amateurs.
They're good
Joel
guys.
Casamayor. I mean, that's
Wow.
an unbelievable card.
I don't remember that.
All right, I got a question for you, Doug.
Yeah.
Which promotion was promoted as Too Tall?
Is what?
Too Tall.
Too what?
Too Tall.
Too Tall Promotions?
Well, the name of the fight.
Ed Jones.
It was a Lennox Lewis fight, remember?
Oh, was that when Lennox Lewis fought Henry Akinwande?
No, the one in New York.
Oh, I was there. That's when it was. That's when Lewis defended his title against Michael Grant.
Michael Grant.
I was
that's right.
there. Wow.
I remember that.
That was 20 years ago.
I remember that because on the side of the garden they had this long vertical.
Vladimir
billboard.
was on the undercard, wasn't he?
It could have
Did he
been.
take out David Bostis?
That sounds right. Yeah.
Man,
that sounds
Vlad
right.
looked
Oh,
good.
David Boston.
Remember David Bostis? Yeah.
I do. Okay, I got this question.
Nobody else remembers.
Okay, this is the guy's real name. Okay, tell me the name he boxed under. His real name is Guglielmo Papello.
Papello?
Willie Pep.
Pep,
Greatest,
there you go.
one of the greatest fighters of all time. Definitely the greatest Italian American fighter of all time.
And tell me Willie Pep's record.
211 or 200 and no, Is it 220? 220 with 11 losses, 1 draw? Something like that.
229 and 11.
229. Oh, he almost had 230 wins.
See, Doug does have a photographic memory.
So let me ask you this,
Almost.
okay? He got knocked out 6 times.
Yeah.
Okay, name me who knocked him out.
Sandy Sadler did it twice. No, 3 times.
Three
Yeah,
times,
3 times.
okay.
I think
That's
most-
3.
What were the years?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
We got that.
It wasn't prime Pep, though.
Okay. Okay, so you want to
Pep's
know...
Pep was a 40s fighter.
Okay, and who else?
Most
knocked
of
him
those losses and knockouts, that happened in the
50s?
50s.
out? They all happened in the 50s.
Right. I'm saying Pep,
Yeah.
Pep turned pro the same year that Ray Robinson did. It was 1940. The same thing with Robinson. Most of Robinson's losses are the 50s.
Yeah. Okay, so who else knocked out Willie Pep?
You talk and for folks who worship records, like you look at their records throughout the 40s, both Robinson and Pep's. It's mind-boggling. We're never going to see anything like that ever.
That's not going to be reachable anymore.
Never.
No.
Yeah.
So you want to answer that?
And that's
What-
when
what-
guys
sorry,
actually
what
fought
was-
each other, right, Doug?
What was that?
That's when guys fought each other.
Everybody
Everyone
fought
fought
each other.
everyone.
It's not a big deal.
But not
It's
just
like
once.
a round robin.
Yeah,
Numerous
several
times.
times.
Yeah.
Especially if it was a good fight. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. So who?
I got ADD,
Okay,
man.
so Sandy Sadler knocked him out 3 times.
Yeah, 3
How many
times.
times did they fight altogether?
4.
Yeah. And what happened in the
Pep
fourth?
won once. Fight of the year, 15-round decision, and he was chopped up too. Man.
Oh, excuse me.
They both would fight dirty. They did a lot of.
That's good.
They had a lot of. Of course,
That's the
do
best.
what you
That's
got to
good.
do.
Okay, so who else knocked him out?
God, who else knocked out Willie Pep, man?
Hogan.
Hogan Basie.
Yeah. Hogan Kid Bassett.
Hogan Kid
Oh,
Bassett.
you don't remember?
But that's I mean, he
that was
must
in
have been.
'58. Hogan. Kid
Oh, come on!
1958,
That was
wow.
an old
okay.
man.
Okay, in '54, a guy from Brooklyn knocked him out.
Really? I don't know.
Lulu Perez.
Oh yeah, he was a top 10 contender.
Yeah.
yeah, he
Perez.
was for a long time.
Okay,
yeah.
and the other guy in '52, Tommy Collins. He was big.
Those go.
Was he?
Those go way past.
That's the whole time, man.
All right, I think we gotta wrap up.
Yeah.
Doug, what's your shirt? Is that X-Men or what is
All
that?
right, guys, who out there knows is X-Men related? These are the bad guys.
Okay, who's gonna?
Who knows what supervillain group this is?
What group is that?
Don't say Legion of Doom.
Anyone?
That's DC. This is
Watching out
Marvel.
there.
The Brotherhood of. Anybody know?
They haven't written in yet.
You nerds. Actually, you're not nerds. You would be a nerd if you knew. If somebody can, I'll mail them a shirt, a brand new shirt, just like this. They can name all of these bad guys. I can't.
You know what I saw on TV that made me think about you? Is there's a Shiro convention of
She-Ra, like
female
heroes. Okay.
action heroes. Yeah.
Should take.
Yeah, and it's coming. It's
I-
local here.
Oh really?
I'll text you.
Oh yeah, text me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is Magneto. This is Sabretooth.
Sabretooth.
That's yeah, he's popular. That's Mystique.
Okay.
That's the Blob.
The Blob.
That's Pyro. This is Toad, and that's Destiny.
Oh, okay. I've heard of Destiny.
You win,
Yes.
Dougie. You win the shirt.
She can tell the
No
future.
one has
She can
written in yet.
She's blind, but she can see the future.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which group? For
Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
of evil mutants.
Evil
Okay.
Mutants. Did somebody get it?
No.
Oh.
I got it. Nobody
Y'all
got
ain't
it.
geeky enough.
No one's
It's all good,
Comic-Con fans.
Nah, it's all good.
All right, we're gonna sign
Boxing
off.
is enough.
The sun has come back. Everyone enjoy their Sundays. Be safe, Coach. Right? You were ahead of your
Totally.
time with the fist bumps, not touching people's
And
hands.
everyone
Wash
made-
your hands a lot.
Be
Everyone
safe
made
with the
fun of me for
coronavirus.
years.
Wash your hands every. What are they saying now? Like
20
every
seconds. Yeah.
20 seconds, but you should wash them very often. Like,
Yeah, periodically during
Yeah.
the day, at least like 7 or 8 times. I do that anyways because I'm insane.
Wash your hands.
Don't touch your
And
face.
Jeannie's got words of.
If you don't have soap and okay.
We got to see. What do they say in school, Jeannie, about the
soap
vi-
and water, always bring hand sanitizer.
hand sanitizer? That's a good tip. You know what? I was in Florida last week, and all the hand sanitizer was gone.
Yeah.
Out of everywhere. Every
I think
store.
hot water
Amazon.
and soap is better.
Amazon doesn't have it anymore.
Hand sanitizer while you still can.
And what do they say in school, Jeannie, about the
Wash your
coronavirus?
hands for 20 seconds.
Cover your face when you sneeze.
Yeah.
Go like that when you sneeze.
Or like
And don't pick your eyes. Don't rub your eyes.
Don't touch your face.
Yeah, don't mess with your face.
And if someone sneezes, that's what we're saying about the LA Marathon. All the guy in the front has to sneeze, and everyone's going to get away from him.
Yeah, that's a strategy
Don't hang out
right
around
there.
sick people.
There you go. Okay, well, we're going to get ready to sign off.
Okay.
Coach, any other words of advice? How should they drive?
I want everyone to be really happy this week.
Be positive.
It's all mental.
It's all
totally mental.
It's your outlook, and that's how people react to you, your positivity, right?
No, you have to be positive. You
Yeah.
have to be happy, and you got to be nice to everyone. And you got to let everyone, when you're driving, you let everyone in front of you all the time. And when you turn
And
left,
you make their day.
hey, I want to tell you though, seriously, when you turn left, you got to really be careful. I mean, just
Don't
every
rush yourself.
day, so many
If you
people.
think you have
running
this is a
lights.
small window, let it pass.
Yeah.
Right for a
Just,
big window.
you know what? Ironically, a friend of mine just got in an accident in an intersection where someone turned left right in front of him.
Yeah.
And so you really got to be careful.
Dangerous.
I don't know, I got to
Especially out
unzoom
here.
here for some reason. Okay. There we go. Oh, I was zooming on your shirt. That's
Oh,
why.
there you go.
That's why. But drive safe and
And be happy.
be happy.
And be sure to watch the B-Hop 5th pro fight.
There you go. And Kevin Kelly, Troy Dorsey, and Kevin Kelly, Hamed. Someone wrote in about that also. That was a
man.
tremendous fight at
That
the
made
Garden.
a lot of fight fans. Actually inspired a lot of guys to take up boxing.
And shout
I
out
think
to
Paulie Malignaggi was one of them.
shout out to Maywood Boxing. I was there yesterday to see Adrian Montoya and Mondo down there. Yeah, so they're going to be
Mondo
at the,
Huerta.
they're going to be at the show, and I saw Chantal Navarro also.
Okay.
Nacho Navarro's daughter. She's a
right.
five-time
Five-time
national
national
champion.
amateur
She wasn't at Maywood, but we had lunch with her afterwards with her and David Avila.
What's the connection between her father and me?
With Nacho?
Yeah.
What's the connection? LA Boxing?
Yeah.
Did you spar with Nacho?
No.
No?
You're going to knock me out. He trained me.
Oh, he trained you. Nacho trained you. Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
He
See?
supervised one of my first sparring sessions.
I remember when LA Boxing, Frank Rivera was down there.
But he wasn't. I think he was in my corner for sparring. I never sparred with him. No.
Okay, so he trained you for one of your
He trained me.
sparring
He was a
sessions.
teenager. I was in my mid 20s, and he was 16, 17 years old.
Wow.
And I asked him, "How long you been boxing?" He said, 10 years.
Yeah.
You know, he said since I was
Yeah,
7.
his father.
And I said, "Well, that's 10 years experience I don't have." I said, "Train me." And he's like, "Man, I'm preparing for a tournament."
Yeah,
I
amateur
said, "Well, you
tournament,
just
yeah.
do what you do, and I'll do whatever you do.
There you go.
You just let me mirror you."
Oh, Nacho. I mean, the Navarros, Carlos Navarro, Nacho,
Yeah.
Jose.
Yeah.
His father really supported them in boxing. I remember one time they took him, Dave, you'll appreciate this, they took him to a shopping center in the back of their pickup truck, and they were all shadow boxing in the back of the pickup truck.
Oh, wow.
People were watching him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the stories that I heard.
Repping South Central
Yeah,
LA.
so his daughter now, Chantel, she's 16, 5-time U.S. national champion in the amateurs, and sponsored by Nike already.
Yeah. And
And,
she's training. She trains at Maywood.
No, she doesn't train.
okay.
No, Nacho runs Eddie Heredia's gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I remember that.
the
Yeah,
Eddie Heredia gym.
It used to be a fire station.
That's right. It was a fire
Yeah, it's in
station.
East LA.
Yeah, East LA.
Oh, I gotta
That's right.
visit.
So you go by, and I'll go by there with you.
Yeah,
Eddie Heredia, and
anytime.
Nacho runs it. He has 3 national champions out of there now,
Way to go, Nacho.
including his daughter and his nephew also.
All right.
All right, so
Y'all who think you
we're
can
gonna
kick
sign
my
off.
ass, Nacho gave me my foundation.
There you
man.
go.
I got all the Navarro tricks. Better watch it.
All right, we're gonna sign off. Jeannie, say goodbye to all the people watching.
Hi.
Oh.
Back.